she got her aunt's inheritance.
I was about to turn 18, and she had left me this money so I could go to college.
So her boyfriend went shopping.
She said he wanted a new car, so the check was cashed, and he got it.
But when they split, where did the money go?
Did she give you $2,000?
No.
You borrowed this money from her?
No.
So you never got this money?
No.
Judge Judy.
Do you think you're smarter than I am?
No.
Series of loans to him. He says whatever money that you gave him were gifts. Correct?
Yes.
Who is this?
My girlfriend.
Why is she here?
Because she spoke to Maury after the incident happened, and she explained to her what happened.
I don't know what incident you're talking about. You'll tell me, I'm sure. Miss Bailey, did you date him for a period of time?
Yes, I dated him for a period of about 8 months during my senior year of high school.
And how long ago was that?
That was everything ended around August of 2000.
And how old were you?
At the time we broke up, I was 18.
Where'd you get this money from?
I had an inheritance from an aunt. She had died when I was 13, and she had left me this money so I could go to college. And I decided to go to a Hunter college, so I had a little left over.
And you were able to take the money out yourself?
Yes. It was left to me, and when I turned 18, it was turned over to me.
Okay. The first loan was in August?
Yes.
For what?
It was $2,000 because he said he wanted a new car. His car had been crashed quite a few times, and they couldn't fix it, or it was too much money to fix it, whatever, he wanted a new car. And so I lent it to him, and I explicitly said it's a loan, and I will need this money back.
Did he say when he would pay you back?
He never really said anything. He just said, you get it by next year, when I could get money back, whatever. You'll get it by next year.
Whatever is not a contract. Did she give you $2,000?
No.
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 Show me proof that you gave him $2,000.
I have bank receipts from that month. There was actually a lot of transactions. What he would do is he would call me, and he would wake me up in the morning and take me to the ATM before the banks could open, so I would have to go to the ATM. Because the ATM could only take out $800 at a time, I would have to go to 3 different ATMs on a day. And because there was only a certain amount of money that I could take out on a certain day, I had to go to 2 days. So my bank receipts reflect that.
Does that sound more familiar, Mr. Smith?
No, it doesn't.
Doesn't. So you never got this money.
I got a portion of the money, which
How much is a portion?
$700 my car cost. My
How
car
much?
actually cost $750, which I did receive from Maury, and which I told her I was going to pay it back, which I did not pay it back at the time.
Why?
But, we broke up before she got it, and I wasn't, able to get in contact with all things. I work. I'm engineering and training, so I could not have waking up in the morning and going to see her because I have to be at work at 7 o'clock in the morning. I got out of work at 3:30, and she was.
Excuse me?
I don't care about your work. You borrowed this money from her.
Not $2,000 though.
No, $750.
Yes, yes.
Okay, $750.
I do say I do owe that. I do owe that money. But
Excuse me,
Yeah.
Judge. There was also about $1,400. He couldn't afford his insurance, so I paid 2
Just a
months of his
second.
insurance.
Let me take care of this.
Okay.
Okay. But in your answer, sir, you don't say that you owe her the money. In your answer, you say, I needed a car, and she offered to help me buy a car.
Yes.
She offered to give me the money.
she offered, but I owe that money because she gave me that money.
Oh,
She
well,
gave
you
me
didn't
and I
say
told
that
her
here. You didn't agree that you owed her that
Sorry
money.
about
All right, $750. What else?
There was also his insurance was about $711 a month on 2 months. One was September of 2000, and the other one was October of 2000. He could not afford to pay his insurance, so I paid 2 months of insurance, and the total came out to about $1,400. Each check was $711.79, and I have the checks here.
Which were not cash because I did not have any checks to cash. I didn't have a bank account to cash. You cannot cash a personal check at a check cashing. You must cash
Excuse
a
me, but
personal
it was
check
written
in
out
a
to
bank.
the place, so
But I did not
that's
use
why
a check.
what happened is they did an electronic check or something. I handed him the original check that I wrote out, and that's the check that was sent to my bank. So the check was cashed, and he got it.
My insurance was canceled October of 2000. So I'm not understanding how she says that I have paid money for my insurance to be written out and paid for by the insurance company.
Did you ever have a conversation with her about your car insurance?
Yes.
Of course you did. Because if you say your car insurance was canceled, then you must have had a discussion with her. She was your girlfriend about, I don't have money for car
no,
insurance. I have 2 checks made payable for $711.79. They're bank checks.
Yes.
What was that for, sir?
That wasn't to me. At the time when she wrote it out...
Just a second. That went to you.
Yes, but I did not cash it. When she wrote it out to me, she was still there. I told her I couldn't cash the check. I didn't want the check.
You
She
can't
took it
cash
back
the
to her.
check.
I couldn't. So I gave it back to her, and then it was over. I couldn't cash the check because I didn't have a bank account at the time. I could not have, no way I could cash the check. It was to my insurance company.
It was paid.
But they even know. They would have mailed me a copy of the check.
It was paid, both of these checks.
I paid, my insurance company was canceled, and I had another insurance company with my mother's name.
These were paid, sir. Capital payment plan.
Okay, yes.
What else?
I have a tape here. He knew it was a loan. He always knew it was a loan every time. When I gave him those checks, I said, when am I getting back my money? Every time we had a conversation, it would be about am I getting back my money?
What I want to know is what the girlfriend is doing here.
The girlfriend, what
Now,
happened is, he found out I was suing him. He calls me. I told him, I will see you in court. I will not talk about this over the phone. And his girlfriend calls me. And that's what happened.
Stand up here. What did you call her for?
I called her to speak to her about what. I just wanted to know why she was suing him.
For money.
No, I wanted to know the reason why, like how it went about, like the
What is it
situation.
your business?
Because he's my boyfriend. That's the reason why I wanted to know.
Why?
I just wanted to know
know
why
what
she
debt
was
he
suing
had.
him. He told me he didn't owe her any money. That's
He
why I
told me you
wanted
didn't
to
owe
know.
her any money to start with.
Exactly, and that's why I called her to find out. And she told me that she paid for his car. She told me the same exact thing, and she actually told me that after she broke up with him, that's when she had gave him $700 to pay for his car. And she told me that she spent a lot of money on him. She bought him a lot of gifts and all of
Gifts
this.
is not what we're talking about.
Well, she said she spent a lot of money on him.
Sure she did. She, 18-year-old got her hands on some money, and that's the problem. But this money was for his car and his car insurance.
But $3,000 doesn't add up at all.
No,
So-
$21.50 is what it adds up to.
Well, actually, there's a lot more money. I did loan him the $2,000. He's saying it's $700 right now.
If next time you loan somebody money, Miss Bailey, and if you think there's going to be a dispute as to the amount, get a note. What else?
There's a taper. He was fully aware there was a loan. He called my
Let
machine.
me see.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Marie Bailey says ex-boyfriend Hassan Smith owes for several unpaid loans, and she has an audio tape to prove it.
Go ahead.
511:1:06 p.m. January 23rd.
Crazy, I don't know what you're doing, but for coming back this long for 3 years later and suing me for $3,000, I don't know what the hell to sue you for. I'm trying to sue you for that you put me through, but I didn't expect your mother's house and me helping you, so you living off of me. So therefore, I should kind of sue you. But we'll see about this in court because ain't no way you're going to win around dignity you got. I mean, it says to me.
Wish I understood a word you were saying.
I was saying that she was suing me for $50,000 3 years later, which was way too weird because when she did call me and want the money, I told her I will give her the money, no problem. But it came so sudden for her to come to court and say I owe her $3,000. It hit me with such shock that saying $3,000 that I owe. It was shocked that $3,000 out of $700 from $3,000. It was pretty weird.
Insurance. You forgot about the insurance, Mr. Smith. You forgot about the insurance. You mean you were shocked that 3 years later she came to you and said, I want my money?
Yes, but she could have maybe signed a contract, and I would glad I signed a contract for the money I owe her, but she
When-
didn't.
Yeah.
And-
Judge, please. Go ahead. I'm listening to you.
Okay. Oh, and bank statements saying that she wrote checks out to me. If it wasn't my insurance company, I would like to have a receipt from my insurance company saying it was paid in full. You know, all they always mail
How
this
is she going to get that?
because the check is run out from her address, so they mail a copy of what was paid, a receipt, and the mail with that. Always, I have a checking account too. They
Really?
always do that.
They mail it to the person who wrote the check rather than to the insured. It says your insurance is now paid. We want
Yeah,
to
but why
let you
was
know
if
that
the check
Mr.
wasn't mailed out to me? Why would they mail it back to me?
Because maybe she didn't trust you. And you told me you didn't have a checking account.
At the time.
So, well, I don't care what you have now. Now is not important, Mr. Smith. Do you think you're smarter than I am?
No, I'm not.
You're darn right. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,150. Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
We had a baby together which died, and I broke up with her so suddenly, and she hated me for that.
I don't know why he's bringing up the past history. It was not brought up in the case. I don't know why he's trying to bring it up, trying to make me look bad or whatever, but it has nothing to do with it.
I don't hate her for it.
I don't want to have any contact with the defendant or anything, and I'm just so happy to have him out my life for good.
Things like this happen all the time with people who are mad because they got left by somebody who doesn't want them anymore.
I don't want him. I am happily engaged. I have a new life.
I guess money makes the world go round. That's one thing that can make you happy if you can't have that person that you want.
I don't even think about him except the money that he owed me.
Don't get in a relationship when it involves money.
If he wants to think that I still want him, let him. If that makes him sleep better at night, whatever.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Lechuga versus Kavanaugh, step forward, please.
21-year-old store manager Yvette Lechuga is suing her ex-boyfriend, 22-year-old construction worker James Kavanaugh, for the unpaid balance on a car he totaled.
Miss Lechuga, the defendant was a former boyfriend of yours. In addition to just being a boyfriend, you had a car that was titled in both of your names. He paid for the insurance on the car, but it was your car. And there was a car loan on the car, is that right?
Right.
He got into an accident and totaled the car. So far, is that right?
Yes.
The insurance company totaled the car and gave you a check, but the check did not cover the car loan, and there is still about $1,800 left that you owe the loan company on the car. Is that what the case is about?
Yes.
Mr. Kavanaugh, when were you in this accident, sir?
It was May 28th, 2001.
Tell me about the accident.
Well, we were coming back from the airport and...
Stop playing with papers. Look at me.
Okay. We were coming back from the airport from St. Louis.
Who's we? The two of you?
The two of us, yes. She was in the passenger seat. We were going through an intersection, and the light was green. She swore the light was green at one time. Went through the intersection in another car. We collided. No witnesses stopped on our behalf. The other car had a witness stopped, said they had a green light, so I was at fault for the accident because I had no witnesses. She was in the
Maybe
car.
you were just at fault in the accident because you were at fault.
No, the light was green. I'm sorry, if the light was green, I'm going through.
Did you hit them or did they hit you?
We hit each other.
How is that?
Because the two corners hit together. I mean, I didn't see them. They just ran, they went right through the light, and we collided. I never saw the car coming through the intersection because I was halfway through the intersection before, you know, we even hit.
So the insurance company found that you were at fault. Is that right?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, the highway patrol put me at fault. Now, I guess the insurance goes by that, or if they go by their own. I don't know.
Whatever. Those people who were responsible for finding who's at fault found you at fault?
Yes.
Okay. And when had you purchased this car?
We had purchased it in last September.
When you say we purchased it, you purchased it together?
He was the primary person on the car, and I was the co-signer, but it was supposed to be the other way around, and they messed it up.
I don't care what they... What is it now? Who owes the $1,800?
Right now, I'm the primary person.
Why is that?
Because we switched the names back.
When?
Back in June.
After the accident?
Yes.
Why?
Because I was the one making the payments on it, and I wanted to have credit for it.
At the time that this accident occurred, that he caused, he was the primary on the car.
Right.
And on the loan. Is that right?
Right.
Who was making payments prior to May 28th?
I was.
Why were you making the payments?
Because it was my car.
Well, then why was he ever the primary?
Because the loan people were stupid and messed it up. They put my name wrong. They put the paperwork wrong. When I signed the papers, I asked them, this puts me as co-signer, because I've never signed for a car before, co-signed or nothing. So I believed the people we bought the car from. I said, so I'm on as co-signer. They said yes. So we signed the papers. Come to find out later on, they put me as primary and her as co-signer. So when we found that out, since she was making the payments, it was her car, we switched the names.
You mean the payments for a car that no longer existed?
What's that?
In June, after the accident, the car no longer existed.
Yeah.
Is that right?
That's right.
How much did they give you for this car?
About $7,000.
$7,311.
And how much was owing on the car?
That much. I don't have the exact amount on that because...
How come you have a lot of paperwork?
I have all the paperwork I need for my case. I mean, I don't have the exact amount left on the car. They wouldn't give me the information.
Let me see the information that you have, madam. Okay. I want to see the loan that was taken out, how much the payout was, all that good stuff.
I have a copy of the title right here. It has the price on it. I did have that.
How many cars did you have when you were living together?
I had mine and had hers.
When did the two of you part ways?
In July.
Why?
He broke up with me because he was seeing somebody else.
I see the last payment that you made to Ford Credit was $100.85. Is that right?
Right.
Your Honor, what month was that? Because I've had to cover 1 month of that because she quit paying on it and didn't tell me. So they called me 2 days before they were going to send it to collections agency and inform me that she was 3 months behind.
I did tell you.
So you made the payment?
Yes, I had to make the payment.
Good. It was your accident. Now.
She was right there in the passenger side, Your Honor. She could have very well been driving. She gave me permission to drive the car, so, you know, my insurance paid out all that on it. I mean, if I was to let her...
Is this your defense? Now
if I was to let her go drive my truck and she was to wreck it, it'd be my responsibility to pay for it, not hers. I mean, isn't that right? Because it is my truck and my insurance. I mean, unless I'm wrong, I don't know.
So that's your defense?
My defense is I've paid out more on this car than I think I should have anyway. I mean, yeah, my insurance covered my wreck, my part of the wreck, but I paid for her insurance the whole time she had that car, so.
Where were you coming or going from that you were coming from the airport?
We were coming from St. Louis because she had gone to Texas.
Yes.
Vacation to see her mom.
Okay, so when you went to pick her up at the airport, you took her car.
Yes.
How come you didn't take your truck?
Because her car had more room and we could put her stuff in the trunk. I had permission to take her car.
No, I didn't ask for permission. I just said, how come you didn't take your truck?
Because her car has more room. I have an
More
S10.
room than a truck?
I have an S10. The cab is a lot smaller than the front seats of a car. It's just more comfortable in a car.
Okay.
Because it's
now,
a
when you went
2.5
out
hour
for
drive.
dinner, which car did you take?
What's that?
What word didn't you understand, sir? When the two of you
well,
were
I'm
together,
sorry, I was
I'm
talking,
speaking.
You interrupted me.
When you went out for dinner, when you were living together, whose car did you take?
Either or.
Most of the time, which car did you take?
There wasn't most of the time. I mean, I
You
guess
went out
most
to
of the
a
time we
movie.
took my truck.
You did?
I guess, yes.
I doubt it. I doubt it.
doubt
You
it?
want to know why? Women don't ride in a truck if they have a car. By choice. If they have no choice, they'll ride in a truck. But if they have a choice, they'll ride in a sedan. That's common sense, isn't it, Bert?
I'm not a woman, but yeah.
But you know women.
My wife prefers a car.
Right. Now, what kind of work do you do?
I work construction.
So you use your truck for your business, but going out on a Saturday night, you take the car.
Not true.
Not
But,
true.
okay.
Of course it's true. Sir, bottom line is, Mr. Kavanaugh, you not only were driving this car, with or without her permission, of course it was with her permission that you were driving the car, but you were also primarily responsible on the loan at the time of the accident. I don't care who messed up. You bought this car in September of 2000. If you're old enough to have a car and a truck and a job, then you're old enough to look at paperwork and see whether it's wrong, and you don't switch it after the accident. So at the time of the accident, you were A, at fault, B, primary on the loan.
As co-signers should have been.
No.
Okay, both of our names are right here. On this title, both of our names are under owner.
Right.
It doesn't say who's co-signer and who's not. When I saw that, and when I asked them who is the co-signer, they said me. Now,
But it turns out that it wasn't.
doesn't seem to be very clear to me.
It turns out, I'm not here to go over their contract. As it turns out, you were primary. Right?
Unknowingly, yes.
Not my fault. You certainly knowingly one thing. You knowingly were involved in an accident which the police attributed to you as the one at fault, so you owe the remainder on this bill. Why should she be saddled with it? Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,798.69. Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I don't think it was right. I mean, I've paid out more than enough on this. I don't think I should pay off anymore.
I'm just glad this is all over with and I don't have to deal with him anymore.
My insurance covered more than what the car was worth anyway.
He was responsible.
We've been arguing about it ever since the wreck.
It's been an ongoing thing.
Don't co-sign on anybody.
Choose better boyfriends.
You were having some hard times.
A homeless mom.
I had to leave with my kids and go to a safe house.
Her best friend offered help.
I gave them money. I paid for them to be in a hotel.
Why were you doing this?
She's like a sister to me.
But when she had to give it back,
How much of this money did you repay?
I don't have anything I can give her.
she vanished.
I didn't know where she was. I had no way to find her.
Judge Judy.
You had to make this loan and say, I hope I get it back. Miss Gilbert, according to the complaint that I've read, you and the defendant have been good friends since childhood, is that right?
Yes.
And there came a time recently when you were having some hard times.
Yes.
You have 2 children,
Yes.
and at that time you had a boyfriend.
Fiance, yes.
And you volunteered to give them some help.
Yes.
What was the total amount that you loaned to the defendant?
Altogether, there was a total of $8,992 with an additional $925, which was a loan to Kate only, not to the both of them.
Did they sign a note?
They did.
May I see the note?
Yes. There's actually 2 separate notes. The first was for the initial amount, and then it got a bit higher.
Well, this is $7,000.
Yes.
Then there was an additional $1,900. Do you have any notes for those?
I don't have any notes for those amounts. I have a breakdown of everything that I lent them and what it was for.
And what was the $925 just to the defendant?
The $925 was while I was on my honeymoon. I told my mom to give her anything that she needed while I was gone. Just write them a check if anything came up, and I would take care of it when I came back.
Why were you doing this, Miss Gilbert?
She's like a sister to me. We grew up together. Her kids mean a lot to me, and I I couldn't let them be on the street.
Well, according to your complaint, you were notified of their difficulty at a time when you were planning your wedding. And you allowed the defendant, her boyfriend, and the 2 children to move into your home.
Yes.
How long did they live in your home?
They moved in the very end of August. They were there until a week before my wedding because my landlord insisted that they leave at that point. I would have let them stay longer.
When was your wedding?
October 15th.
Where did they go?
They went to hotels. I paid for them to be in a hotel while I was gone on my honeymoon. I arranged all of that before I left.
How did you arrange for payment for the hotel?
I gave them money.
Is that right?
Yes.
Are you still with the same fiancé?
No, I'm not.
What happened to him?
At the time that Danielle assisted us and helped us financially, we were debating and considering separating. We had just had a baby. My son was under a year old.
What did he do for a living?
He was a general contractor.
So why didn't you have any money?
There were numerous months where he was unemployed, partly by his choice and partly due to lack of work and due to the fact that we moved. We couldn't find a rental in the area that we were living in. Danielle suggested that we could stay with her and relocate from New Hampshire to Massachusetts, where it might be easier for him to find employment. She tried to offer us opportunities and alternatives.
How much of this money did you repay?
I have no records. I have nothing to show you for what I paid. I worked for her at her business for approximately 4 months at $10 an hour. The majority of what I made was never given to me. It was just paid back toward what I owed.
How much?
I would say approximately $4,800 is what I came up with. But again, she kept track of everything. Lots of things were cash, lots of things were verbal.
You would have no reason, considering her kindness, to believe that she would cheat you.
I'm not, no.
Right?
Right.
That she wouldn't keep accurate records and make sure that she made notes of every dime that you gave her.
Exactly.
To return this money. All right. And you kept those records?
I did.
How much did she pay you in total?
I received $1,371.40 from her pay. She worked for about 14 weeks, not 4 months. And she was only working about 15 hours a week, so it wasn't like it was a substantial paycheck to begin with. So for the first 6 weeks, I received half of the paycheck.
Oh, no, you don't have to explain it to me. The defendant
Okay.
has already indicated that she totally trusts your math. She has nothing. You say in total she has repaid $1,371.40 in total.
For working for me. I received
Checks.
2 payments from the both of them. One was for $100, which was given on February 3rd, and the other was for $90, which was given on February 10th, which was a total of $1,561.40.
So?
My position is I signed these agreements, these promissory notes, with somebody. There were 2 of us that accepted these loans, but I'm the only one that's ever made a payment on this loan, ever. And it was known from the beginning how horrible and chaotic my relationship and separation was. It was known.
Why did you permit your oldest and dearest friend to contract with someone, not you, I'm talking about the boyfriend, when you say the relationship was horrible? You were on the verge of breaking up with him before you moved in with her.
I know where you're going, and I can
Why
answer
would
it.
you do that to your friend?
Because she was helping me and my kids so that we didn't end up, if I had walked away from him at that point, which she offered, just leave him, you and the kids come stay with me.
Right.
Right? And at that point, we had a newborn. We had a new baby. Things were hectic. Things were totally dysfunctional. She offered to help us and enable us to maybe get on our feet.
She didn't give a rat's behind about him.
No, she didn't. And she made that clear from the very beginning.
Oh, see how smart she is. She didn't care.
No, she
didn't care about
said-
him.
She
but
said
she
to me-
fed him.
She did.
And she housed him. He ate 3 meals a
And
day.
these are
or
the things
2
I
meals a
know.
day.
I mean, I'm
Yeah,
not
so
with
I don't
him.
understand why, you took an awful lot of money from her. He didn't have any family?
No, he has nothing. He's pathetic. He has nothing. And her help was not to him. Her help was to me and my children because that's what she cared about. But she did have us sign the promissory note so that in the event that him and I separated, because that was always in everybody's mind, that he would be held responsible for repaying part of this loan. It was, to my attention, he said he had paid about $2,000. He said he paid $1,000 and then 2 $600 payments to her. She has said to me and indicated that he's made no payments other than, I think, about a $600 payment. So
Did he make a $600 payment to you?
It wasn't quite 600. I believe I have 215. What happened is, after those deductions, I had a balance of $7,430.60. That's when they split. And that's not including the $925. That was only to her, not to him at all. When they split...
And I'm not disputing that. That's correct.
I put it in half. I said that they each owed me $3,715.30 and that I expected each one of them to be responsible for that amount. I am suing him. I don't even know where he lives, but I am going after him for $3,500 because I did get $200 from him.
Okay. Was this $3,715 after the deduction for the money that she had from working at your place of business?
Yes. Because I never considered, and neither did she, and neither did he, consider that her working for us was a payment from her. They were still engaged at that point. It was never an arrangement that it was only money coming from her, ever.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Danielle Gilbert says when former friend Sarah Kate Shoemaker was down on her luck, she stepped in with a loan. Danielle says she's never been repaid.
Go ahead.
The money that I made while I worked there and that was applied to the loan did come from both of us, but he could care less about her. You know, it was never that I tried to avoid the loan. It was that after a year of trying to make it work with this person, to this day right now, standing before you, I would still be working for her. I'm not, and I haven't been. And
why?
Because he put such strain on our relationship that I had to leave with my kids and go to a safe house. Literally.
Are you working now?
I'm a student. I get aid for my housing as long as I'm in school full-time.
To pay child support?
I don't even know where he is, Your Honor. Trust me, I have 2 kids, and I'd like to get support from him. I'd like to see him pay back what he owes her. I'd like to see him...
What about you?
What do you mean, what about me?
You still owe her money, about $4,700.
I'm aware of that, and I tried to make arrangements with her based on what my income is at this point, but I mean, I've had my 2 kids. We've relocated under severe circumstances. It wasn't like I packed my bags. It was completely crazy, and it was hectic.
But I haven't heard from her until I filed this suit.
For how long?
She stopped working for me in March because she didn't show up one day. And I called, I told him that our friendship was over.
What kind of business?
It's a restaurant. Our friendship was over and that I'd had it and that I was done helping and that I needed to make payment arrangements. And she said she would make payment arrangements with me, but it would lead into, oh, Monday I'll give you this amount, and then Tuesday would come and I'll give you this amount on Wednesday. Until finally I never heard from her again. She relocated, like she said. I didn't know where she was. I had no way to find her. I had no way to even get her served. I happened to see her driving around town one day, and I followed her, and that's how I got her address, so that I could get her served. Otherwise, I wouldn't even be standing here. I wouldn't even know where she was.
And him?
I have no idea.
Did you file for child support against him?
I did. We have a hearing on October 11th. I left the residence, went to the hospital due to an assault, filed a restraining order, and at the same time, I filed for custody and support. It's never been that I want to screw my friend, but I mean, I have an income of like $1,000 a month and 2 kids, and I don't have anything I can give her. I mean, I wish I had $10,000 to pull out of my back pocket and give it to her, but I don't.
She would be happy if you'd sent her $50 a month.
I'm sure she would. I wish I had $50 a month to send her.
Oh, yes, you could have $50 a month to send her.
Yeah, if
they both just sort of kept in contact with me and let me know what was going on, it would have been a little better.
Anybody can earn a little bit of extra money. I don't care if you babysit. I mean, that's what you do if you owe that kind of money. You can't just say, oh, my woe is me. You know, everybody's against me. And
well, I'm a student full-time, and I do work part-time. I'm an accountant, and that's how I have an income at all. But I've relocated.
But this is an obligation that you have. Even a showing of good faith would have satisfied this lady.
I kept in contact with her until August, the end of July. And it's never been that I've tried to avoid her or whatever, but I've had restraining orders and court hearings and custody and trying to find housing for me and my kids.
When did she make this loan to you? In what year?
In 2000.
So we're talking about a good long period of time.
A year ago. But any amount of money that's ever been paid back on this loan has come from me.
But the arrangement was they were together. Right. But I received this money from them, not from her.
But it was me that went to work every day.
Miss Gilbert, no good deed goes unpunished. And you should have been smart enough to know that she had no income before. All she had was this loser. If you were making this loan, you had to make this loan and say, I hope I get it back.
I really thought she was going to be working with me and that I was going to be controlling her paychecks, and I really thought it was going to be entirely different.
She's having a very hard time negotiating life, but she has to start taking care of this responsibility, too, and there's no issue with regard to the money. The money is $4,700, and that's without his half. And really, by virtue of this loan, she's really being very nice and saying, you know, she's going to go after him for the other half. Both of you are responsible for this loan.
I know.
Each one of you, individually and jointly, which means if she can't find him, she had every right to say, I want you to pay back this whole amount. You understand that?
I do.
She's not even suing for that. She's suing for half.
Because she's not like that.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $4,700. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I really felt like she let me down on a personal level. Had nothing to do with the money.
It definitely will never be the same.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Ron versus Bergen. Step forward, please.
27-year-old substitute teacher Sheila Ron is suing her former roommate, 20-year-old student Bernadette Bergen. Sheila says after a night of partying, Bernadette's cousin, George Smith, urinated on her couch.
Miss Ron, according to your complaint, there came a time in May that she moved in with you. There was a roommate arrangement. She was supposed to pay some rent. Didn't work out. After several months, she left, and you claim she owes you some money.
Yes, ma'am.
Defendant says she's fully paid. When did she move in?
For all practical purposes, May 1st.
May 1st. Mm-hmm. And what was the arrangement as far as rent, utilities, her share of the expenses?
She agreed to pay me $300 per month rent, plus half of the bills and her phone bill.
What happened?
Well, things were going great. We got along well until she had her cousin over and some stains were found on my couch the next day. Come to find out it was urine. And I told her that I did not want...
How did you find out it was urine?
It was quite obvious.
Did she tell you what happened?
I don't believe she knew exactly.
This is the cousin?
This is the cousin, yes.
When was this?
This would have been August 1st.
So everything was fine from May till August?
I'm sorry, ma'am. The first time was before August 1st. The second time was on August 1st.
When was the... Well, let's... When was the first time?
The first time would have been a couple weeks before that.
Did you have a discussion with her about it?
We did.
What was the discussion?
Well, I just made it clear that I didn't want him to stay overnight again. She didn't really want to believe that it was urine. She was hoping that he had spilled a beer, and turned out it wasn't that. And so we left that alone in the agreement that he wouldn't stay over again.
Okay. And what happened August 1st?
He stayed over again. I noticed in the morning urine on the floor where he was sleeping, iced tea spilled on the couch where presumably she was sleeping, and vomit all over my bathroom rugs and towels.
Did you have a discussion, I assume?
Yes, we did.
A heated discussion?
I'm afraid so.
What did she tell you?
She had apologized. She just said things got out of control and she was having a hard time getting him to sleep in the bed where she wanted him to sleep in her bed, because I had said if he is going to stay over, have him sleep in your bed. I didn't want urine on my couch or any of the
floor or
anywhere.
anything else. Okay. And then she left?
Yes.
When did she leave?
That was on August the 6th.
Had you told her to move out?
No, ma'am.
That was nice of you. What kind of money do you claim she owes you?
I claim that she owes me $262.80. Now that is for July bills that were not paid, August bills that were not paid, carpet and sofa cleaning, and for the rugs and towels that were taken, that were gone.
I assume that those are the rugs and towels. Yes. Is that right?
It looks like that, yes.
Okay, so let's delete the rugs and towels.
I've already replaced them.
Okay. Now you have 2 sets.
Okay.
Is she paid up as far as her rent is concerned?
As far as rent is concerned, yes.
Cleaning. What was the cost of all the cleaning?
The carpet and sofa cleaning was $74.20.
That's reasonable enough. What other bills?
July bills, I have the half of the gas bill, cable bill, and her telephone bill.
Can I see them, please?
Absolutely.
Okay, we have gas, telephone, cable, electricity. I mean, it all doesn't amount to a whole lot. Minus the towels and stuff, it's $2.25. So why don't you owe her this money?
Well, I did pay her my July bills. I gave her $300 when I moved out in August.
What was that for? Had you paid rent for August?
No, because I only lived there for 6 days, so I gave her $100 for August rent, and I paid her July bills and half of carpet cleaning.
So your position is, Ms. Bergen, that you moved out on August 6th.
Yes.
You paid her August rent, and that should cover the 6 days plus any of these outstanding bills?
Yes.
That's your position?
Yes.
Wrong. You chose to move out August 6th. She didn't tell you to move. Let us assume that you weren't in a roommate situation. You lived in a big apartment complex. And let's say you decide to move out of your big apartment complex, and you've paid your August rent, as you had to, on the 1st of the month. You think you could say to the landlord, I only lived there for 6 days in August so that whatever extra rent you have because I wasn't there, pay all my bills?
No.
Of course not. She didn't evict you, although she should have. You drink a lot?
No.
You have a bladder problem?
What? Her statement about the urine is false.
What about the vomit?
The vomit was with another cousin. We had gone out to celebrate his birthday, and he came back, and he was the one who had vomited on the
So she's got a problem with a couple of cousins.
We had just gone out for his 21st, so he was drunk, very drunk at the time.
Not you.
And I was also.
Sit down. Good. All right, this is a very easy case. You're $225, judgment for the plaintiff. That's it.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I came home to find the three of them sleeping in the living room, and in the morning I noticed the stains.
I should have talked to her before any of this happened, but other issues came into play.
Communication.
I was ill for 3 weeks.
I think if she would have talked to me and explained, this was the first I had heard that she was sick for 3 weeks.
Don't move in with friends.
The dog jumped on Houston.
Was their child attacked by their neighbor's dog?
Our dog plays tag with the kids frequently.
He does have a scar on his ankle from that.
Can you show me your leg?
Or will Judy uncover a shocking case of neglect?
What happened to your eye? Where was he when this happened?
Right in front of our home.
Where were you?
I was at work.
Very, very bad injury. How many stitches? 8.
Judge Judy.
In your custody, this child looks as if he's been through a war zone. 9-year-old son.
That's correct.
And you want the defendant to pay you $5,000 for the dog bite, as well as the emotional distress arising from the dog bite. Is that right?
Yes.
The defendant says that your 4-year-old provoked the dog, and she's counterclaiming because she says that you have caused her child some measure of emotional distress, and she's also counterclaiming in the amount of $5,000. So since I assume you weren't present, is that right, when your son was bitten by this dog?
Not at the time of the bite, no.
Who, other than your 4-year-old, witnessed it?
My witness and my daughter and some other people who aren't here today.
Okay, I'll hear from your witness. Would you step up, please? Tell me your name.
Yvette Orozco Contreras.
Are you a neighbor?
Yes, I'm their neighbor.
When did this incident occur?
On the 11th of March.
At what time of the day?
I would say about 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
And were you outside when this happened?
Yeah, I was in my driveway.
Tell me what you saw.
Well, I saw the kids playing outside. Michael was outside with his dog.
Okay, this is Michael.
Uh-huh.
Michael was outside where with his dog?
In the street in front of my house.
In front of your house?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And he was just playing around with the dog. And then after a while, he just, I guess, was scaring the kids with the dog.
How was he scaring the kids with the dog?
He was telling the dog to say, sick him or get him.
Okay. And how many children were around him?
At that time, I'd say about 7.
Was this little boy one of those children?
Yes.
What is his name?
Houston.
So Houston was there too. Was Houston riding his bike or was
Houston was riding his scooter.
And where was he riding his scooter?
Also in front of my house.
In the street or on the sidewalk?
On the street. We live in a cul-de-sac, so all the kids play right up on the cul-de-sac.
So it was in the street?
Uh-huh.
Where the cars are?
Yes.
Okay. Who was supervising Houston?
I was out there watching them, and other parents across the street were watching their kids too.
And what about Mrs. Norkler? Was she outside watching her son?
No.
At the time the bite happened, I wasn't out there.
You were
However,
not
I
out
was
there.
looking in on them, and my husband was home also.
But neither of you were out
We weren't
there?
actually outside, no.
Okay. Then what did you see?
Well, after a while, I saw Michael let go of the dog.
Michael let go of the dog. How did he do that?
He just let go of the leash, and the dog jumped on Houston.
Did you see him actually being bitten by the dog?
I saw the dog do something. I wasn't so close to see the dog bite him, but I did see him do something.
And then what did the dog do?
I didn't pay attention to what the dog did. Houston ran towards me, and I looked at his leg and took him to his parents.
When you saw Michael outside with the dog and you saw him saying you know, sick him. Did you say anything to him at that point?
I really didn't say anything because he was outside for quite a while with his dog. And the dog didn't seem to be dangerous until he started saying those words.
Well, once he started to say those words, did you go over to him and say to him, stop saying that?
No, I didn't.
Well, didn't you think it was a dangerous situation?
I did, but since the dog didn't seem harmful to me, I didn't make a big deal about it.
Okay. How close were the children to the dog when you saw them outside?
They were right next to him.
And did the dog seem friendly? Were they petting the dog?
They were all riding their scooters, their skates, all that, and the dog was just in the midst of them.
Okay, let's say you're this young man with his dog. How close were the other children?
I'd say to about the end of this table.
So just 2 or 3 feet?
Yeah.
Did this young man tell the children to get away from them if they were riding around on their scooters?
No.
He didn't?
He was playing with them, too.
How was he playing with them?
He was just running around with his dog, too.
So they were all sort of playing together?
Yeah.
Was he the oldest child out there?
No.
Were these two the youngest children out there?
Yes.
How old are your children?
I have a 6-year-old son that was outside playing.
And were you outside at all times watching him?
Yes.
Now, Miss Knockler, when your neighbor brought your son in, did you examine his leg? I think she said it was his leg.
Yes.
Okay, what did you see?
I saw that it was bleeding, that there was a scratch. My son was crying.
But I want you to tell me about this scratch. You have, is that a
The bite.
photograph
Yes,
of it?
we have a
Yes.
photograph.
I'd
we
like to
took
see it, please.
shortly after you came in. And Your Honor?
Yes.
I know you can't see very well from that picture, and we had cleaned up what blood there was, but as of now, a month later, he does have a scar on his ankle from that.
Well, I'd like to see that. Houston, could you come up here for a second, please? As a matter of fact, come right up here, Houston.
He also had a scratch to his elbow from where the dog jumped on him.
What happened to your foot?
He just scratched me.
The dog scratched you?
Yeah,
Did it hurt?
yeah.
Could you sit up there for a second? Because, you know, my eyes aren't so good anymore. Can you show me your leg? Where the dog scratched you? Oh, I see. Just a little tiny scratch. Doesn't look like scratch as bad as what happened to your eye. What happened to your eye, Houston?
I just fell on this, well, we fell on the sidewalk.
Is that what happened to your eye over here?
Yeah?
When was that?
The biggest one happened the day after Houston was attacked by that dog. The little one happened like a month before it happened in front of the property she's renting.
Okay, Houston, why don't you go and sit down? Miss Knockler, how did the large injury happen to your son's face?
He was riding a scooter that he's ridden a lot of times, and the side of the scooter, the padding had come off of the scooter, and that was what went into his face and caused that injury.
Where was he when this happened?
He was right in front of our home.
Where were you?
I was at work.
I was home with Houston that day.
Were you home inside the house when it happened?
We had just got home and we...
Just answer my
No,
question.
I wasn't.
Where were you?
In the garage, heading into the house.
So you were not outside with your son when he was riding his scooter?
No.
One would think that you folks would have learned a little bit, not to leave a 4-year-old outside unsupervised. So he has 2 injuries in the course of one day. One seems much more severe than the other.
Your Honor, may I say something?
Yes.
Part of the reason why sometimes I'm not outside, sometimes they're not outside is because we know each other very well. And
Were you outside when the injury occurred to his eye?
No, I wasn't.
So you weren't outside supervising, is that right?
No, but I'm saying on the day that the dog
I'm
bit.
not talking about the dog. I'm talking about the next day, where the serious injury happened. Not about the day where he got a little scratch on his leg. The day where he got a very, very bad injury. How many stitches did he have there?
8.
Didn't have any stitches on his leg, did he?
No, he did not.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Robert and Kimberly Knockler say their son, 4-year-old Houston, was attacked by their next-door neighbor's dog.
Okay. Did you take him to the emergency room to take a look at that scratch on his leg?
No, we didn't.
So that you were not concerned that the dog required a tetanus shot or anything else?
We knew that he had already had his tetanus shot and he was up to date because of the injury that happened to his eye in front of their property like a month before.
So you're telling me that there was another injury that your son had while he was outside?
He's had a total of 2 injuries that were accidents and 1 injury that was intentional.
What was intentional?
The dog bite.
Dog bite was not intentional. I don't even know if it was a bite. I can't tell if it was a bite or a scratch.
The dog was quarantined.
Just listen to me. You can't tell whether that was a scratch. It looks like a scratch. It looks like a healed scratch. There are no tooth marks in there, nor do I see any in this photograph. So I don't know whether the dog scratched him or bit him. It Seems to me if you believe that your dog is bitten, the first thing that you do is you take the child to an emergency room, and the emergency room makes an evaluation as to whether or not the child was bitten or scratched. There is, in fact, a difference. This is not a $5,000 injury, folks.
It's intentional. He told that dog to sick my son. And she has admitted to that.
Listen to me. That's not what she said. She said he was saying to the dog, sick him. There were a whole bunch of children around there. He is also an unsupervised, how old are you?
9.
9-year-old. Just like your son was an unsupervised 4-year-old. I mean, I read it in the paper. The defendant says that her son was, in fact, supervised. She says most of the time this time was different. It's always the times that are different that create a problem.
Not. He's unsupervised a lot. He has harassed a lot of kids.
Let me
in that
explain something to you. I'm looking at his face. He doesn't have the scars on his face that your son has from being outside, unsupervised, and injured twice on his face. I mean, this was an unfortunate incident. He did the wrong thing. There's no question he did the wrong thing. But what I gather here is there has become a vendetta because of that, and that is outrageous. You claim she says bad things about you. You claim that she says bad things about you, and you say that there's an intentional act on her part because her 9-year-old, who was outside playing with a bunch of kids, did a really stupid thing, and your son got scratched.
No, ma'am.
Yeah.
Judge Scheinlin, I would state that it was an intentional act on his part when he was saying sick him, sick him. She has admitted to that. I don't believe that she wanted this to happen,
So
but
then why
I believe that
He's
definitely.
9 years old. Your son is 4.
Yes.
Right. You think he's
My
an adult?
baby.
What? That's hers. That's hers.
And I don't have a problem with that.
So then
but
why would
she's
you
left
sue her?
him-
Then let me ask you a question. So then why would you sue her, your neighbor, over a scratch for $5,000? Why would you do that?
My son came to the door. He was crying. He was bleeding. He told him, sick him. She
I
admits
already
to
heard that. It's not what I'm
That's
asking you.
Because of the intentional nature, because of the fact that it is very upsetting that somebody would tell a dog to sick a child.
You're absolutely right. If an adult did it and the dog did it, you put him in jail. 9-year-old does it, they're not so smart.
She knows that he has a habit of harassing other children in the neighborhood.
Well, madam, if you know that that's true, then when your witness saw him outside with the dog and was standing outside supervising all these children, she should have said something like, I suggest you bring Houston and your daughter inside because he's outside with that dog and not doing the right thing. She wasn't concerned. She just told me they all seem to be playing. Isn't that right?
They did all seem to be playing, but he was taking advantage of that.
Then why
Houston
didn't
was
you
scared of
stop
the
him?
dog.
Then why didn't you do anything? What kind of
He doesn't
supervision is
listen.
that?
He does not listen. He's attempted to take
Then
my
you
daughter
bring-
to the pool when she
Madam,
cannot swim.
then you bring your children inside and you speak to the mother later.
The mother does not listen either. She knows her
Listen.
kid does this.
I'm going to get to the counterclaim for a second because you ain't hearing me. Now, you have a counterclaim that I believe is a little bit of a nonsense, but I'm going to give you an opportunity to tell me about it. Go ahead.
Okay. Michael has not, first of all, played outside since the incident, only in our backyard. And on Sunday, we were getting ready to leave. He said, can I go out front? The kids are out there. I said, sure, just for a few minutes. I'm on my way out. Michael walked out front. Kimberly was in her driveway. There was a bunch of kids out front, and Kimberly told my son, watch it, kids. Here comes the trashy kid. My son came in the house very upset. I walked back out with him. I said, let's go. We need to go. And I said, Kimberly, I don't understand why you would call a child a name being a teacher. And then I said, I don't have time to get into it right now. My contractor's waiting for me. I have to go. And she said, wait, let's get into it right now. And she went off. She went off yelling, saying, I'm neglecting my kid, called me a... And she just kept going off. And I said, this isn't any way a teacher should act. You're supposed to set an example for our kids. If you want to talk. We don't yell and scream. She said, I better get into my car before she beats me. And I left.
Nasty neighboring. If it's true, it's nasty neighboring. It's not worth $5,000, and neither is the dog scratch.
Right. I do have some stuff I'd like to submit to the court, please.
Go ahead.
One regarding the police report, which is actually contradicting what Yvette's testimony is and what she told the police.
She's being dishonest. That is a reinvention of history. I did not state those things to her. I did not call her child a name. That did not happen at all.
What did you say?
All I told my children to be careful.
Really?
I didn't say trashy.
Just a second.
And she called the cops to my home, what, 5 or 6 hours later?
Can I read this, please?
Please.
Quiet.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you what the police said Ms. Contreras, that you told them, and these quoted in the police report. I asked her if she heard Michael sick the dog on Houston, and she said no, he didn't intend for this to happen. I asked her what she meant, and she said Michael did not intend for this to happen, he was just playing around. I asked her if she was positive that this was an unintended event, and she said she was positive. Did you tell that to the police?
I did. What I meant is that I don't think Michael did it on purpose. I don't think he really...
Well, she says it's intentional, so that you don't agree with her.
I think that
no, just
he
a
was
second.
trying to scare...
So that you don't agree with her that it was an intentional act.
Well, from the looks of it, it looked like he was just trying to scare them, and unfortunately the dog did something
Well,
to
you
him.
told the police that he was just playing around.
Well, yeah, he was playing around.
Okay.
And he,
Playing around in a scratch don't add up to anything.
Your Honor, our dog Trixie plays tag with the kids frequently, the one he is playing outside, which means when Michael runs with him, he jumps up and tags them, he licks them. He was playing tag with the other kids that day as well.
Whatever.
And
if you have,
just
listen to me.
Okay.
If you have a 9-year-old and a dog, and you acknowledge to me in your answer, madam, that your son is told not to take the dog outside if you're not home. Is that right?
That is right.
So he disobeyed you.
Yes, he did.
And I assume that he was punished for disobeying you.
He was consequenced.
Whatever that means. I don't know what that means. Does that mean like a timeout?
No, that means he's been unable to play outside unsupervised at all.
But that's what happens. You know, I don't think that this was an intentional act, and certainly if the child had been bitten and injured, the result here would have been different. Put your paper down. The result here would have been very different. I see no evidence that the child was bitten. I see evidence that the child had a scratch as a result of this unfortunate horseplay, which was really your fault. Do you understand that? You understand that? Okay. If you hadn't disobeyed your mother and either stayed in the house or left the dog in the house, all of this wouldn't have happened, right? So you have to learn that you have to do the right thing, not the wrong thing. As far as your counterclaim is what? Okay. What? So far you're not losing. What are you complaining about?
Well, I have more evidence on the counterclaim. She's slandered us to CPS. She's slandered us to the police department.
Let me see the CPS report.
This is actually the report from our therapist, and this is the CPS worker. She said
Did you
that
call
the
Child
report...
Protective Services about her?
It's in my answer. The date that this happened, they came to the door, my neighbor and the other person, and they said Houston was outside and that Michael had the dog bite Houston. I walked outside and I said to Michael immediately, Michael, go get your sister. She's not home. Michael, go get your mom. She's not home. Michael, are you alone? Yes. I called the police.
Why did you call the police? I don't understand why you called the police. Your son had a scratch on his leg. Period.
The reason I called
Wait
the
until your
police-
neighbor gets home and discuss it with her. That's
right. I don't know when my neighbor's gonna be home.
Oh, madam, your case is dismissed. Listen to me. Totally, completely dismissed. I mean, I think your conduct that day as a neighbor was outrageous. And I would be more concerned about you two people supervising this child, because this child looks as if he's been through a war zone in your custody, all over his face, when he's been totally unsupervised by you. Maybe you just rely on Mrs. Contreras to supervise your children when they're outside. But he's 4 years old. And 4-year-old has had an accident on one day and a terrible accident on the next day, and a month before an accident outside, and you're nowhere to be found. So I would be more concerned about you supervising your own child. Your son was scratched by the defendant's dog. It was an unfortunate circumstance that did not require you picking up the phone as a neighbor and calling the police. It required you waiting, cooling down a little bit, and when she came home, perhaps go over to her house, give her a buzz and say, listen, something bad happened today. I want to tell you about it because my son got a scratch on his leg when your dog jumped up on him. Your son was not doing the right thing. Nobody was supervising him. And I want to tell you, if it happens again, I'm going to contact the authorities. If you wanted to do that, I would have no objection. But to call the police, you're outrageous. But I'm not giving any money. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
They were just playing with him.
Liars. He wanted that dog to bite him.
Michael never intended for the dog to bite anybody.
She came in, she reinvented history.
Unfortunately, she's a bad neighbor, and
You're
even
a
worse.
bad neighbor. She got away with the fact that her son has caused a lot of people on that block a lot of pain.
Even worse, a teacher calling children names.
You're a realtor who's out of control. I'll be very happy to see her, her son, and her no-good dog get the hell on.
Really sad.
I'm out of here.
Really sad.
I'm out of here.
troubled teen
I found out that I'm pregnant.
You hadn't been living at home for a long time.
That's correct.
is driven to a desperate act.
You stole your aunt's car.
It was pretty easy to just jump and go. I kind of used it as an escape route.
But did this woman value her van more than her family?
Tammy got away with stealing my car. She did put me out.
I don't understand why this family matter became a court matter.
Judge Judy.
I'd like you to explain that to me. This is your aunt.
That's correct.
Do you like her?
I love her very much.
This is your mom.
That's correct.
So that's your sister.
Right.
How old are you?
18.
Why don't you have a seat? You stole your aunt's car.
Borrowed, I'd prefer to say.
When you borrow something, you ask for permission. You didn't ask for permission. What your aunt wants is some sort of restitution. Now, I don't know whether I 100% agree with her theory of where she gets to all this money she wants from you. But I want you to tell me when and why you took her car without permission.
Your Honor, it was the beginning of November, and that month had been kind of really bad. I just found out I was pregnant. The father of my child, we didn't know how to tell his dad, and so it was a secret that I was pregnant.
You have another child?
That's correct. I have a 2-year-old as well.
With the same fellow?
No, it's a separate father. So I found out that I'm pregnant, and we didn't know how to tell anyone. Well, that night, I'd actually found out that he was cheating on me with someone, and that the girl who he was cheating on me with was staying the night at his house. I was supposed to have been staying with him and my friend Jenny, and instead I wound going to my Aunt Linda's house, where I stayed the night.
Where had you been living?
Where I'd been living with Daniel, which is the father's parents. It was pretty messed up.
Oh, well, it is pretty messed up. You hadn't been living at your home at your mother's house.
That's correct.
So you had been living at Daniel's house,
Right.
who was the father of the child you were carrying, but not the father of your 2-year-old.
That's correct.
Were you living there with your 2-year-old?
Yes.
How long had you been living there?
For about 3 weeks. The arrangement was I had been hit by a car while working at Sonic, and my hip was displaced. So we moved in with his parents so that she could help me with Destiny
while you were recuperating?
Right.
Had you been living with Daniel before?
Yes, Daniel, myself, and our friend Jenny all shared an apartment with Destiny.
So you hadn't been living at home for a long time?
That's correct.
Now get to the car.
I was obviously under a lot of stress. I was really cold, and I put on my aunt's jacket. I'd been wanting to talk to someone all day, but because I couldn't tell anyone that I was pregnant, it was very hard to talk to someone. When I put on my aunt's jacket, there were keys in the pocket, and I knew there was a friend that lived a few hours south, and that it was pretty easy to just jump and go. I kind of used it as an escape route. Actually, I did use it as an escape route. I'm not proud of it. I admit I took the van, and I should be held accountable. However, I don't feel that all of what she says that I owe her is true. I have the letter here if you'd like to see what kind of stress I was under.
I'd like to see it.
I also have, I went ahead and went on the internet. I downloaded my trip for how many miles I went. Maximum was no more than 100 miles.
Well, first you go on to tell her why you're doing all this and giving her instructions on what to do with your daughter. To turn her over to Daniel. Daniel is not Destiny's father.
Right, but at that time he had taken the role of being her dad. He still does.
Aunt Linda, I love you, and I'm sorry I took your van. I'm not going far. I assure you that if you don't call the police and report it stolen, it will be returned. Tell Destiny I love her, and I will be back, Cammie. Okay, so, Miss Shoemaker, I assume that you have affection for your niece?
Oh, yeah.
So I don't understand why this family matter became a court matter. I'd like you to explain that to me.
Because she could have went to prison for this. She could have went to prison for grand theft. And I told her that that she needed to make restitution. She needed to pay me my lost wages because for 2 days I could not work because I didn't have a vehicle. And the mileage she put on my van. But I told her, I said, I don't care, Cammie, if you give me $5 a week. You have 11 months, 29 days, whatever. But on that 30th day, you either pay me, have it paid in full, or you're going to jail.
That still doesn't answer my question, Ms. Shoemaker. My question is, this smacks of a family matter and what I consider a close-knit family.
Right. Because she never did give me anything towards it except for $20 one time she gave to court to give to me. Every time I asked her about it, we either got in an argument and one of us left mad, But she never tried to even try to pay this.
Okay, how much do you earn a day in your
Me?
job? What kind of job do you have?
I'm a hostess server.
How much do you earn a day?
When there's meeting rooms, I make $200 a day.
Okay, so let's say you make $200 one day. And what about the other day?
About $75.
So it's $275 for 2 days lost pay. What else?
Then the rental. I went to some...
what rental?
Well, for the 3
Your
days
Honor.
she had my vehicle.
You want her to pay as if she had rented
If
your
she
car.
had rented a van for 3 days, what it would have costed her for 3 days for a van.
The Shoemaker, that's what I don't understand. You know,
Okay.
I can understand you saying, look, I don't understand it really, but with a stretch, I can understand you saying to her, because of all this, because you took my van, I didn't know where you were.
She could have went
I
to
couldn't
jail
go.
for stealing my van.
Now, listen to me. Let me explain
No.
to Miss Shoemaker. She could have gone to jail if you complained. She wasn't a stranger. You got a letter from her telling you what kind of stress she was under. She's a kid. She's 18 years old. I mean, she's evidently a screwed-up kid because she's got a child who's 2, and she's pregnant with somebody else's child, right? And she's living all over. She's living in one person's house. She's living in another person's house. Clearly, she's all over the place and not tremendously responsible. But you want her to make arrangements to rent a van at that moment in emotional crisis, and it's a...
So I
clearly for her
should be
was-
penalized because she's under
No,
stress.
but I want you to be penalized. I'm not suggesting that you be penalized. I asked you how much you lost in wages as a result of her taking your
Okay, I
van.
lost wages on Friday
With
and
$275. That's what you told me.
Right.
But then you wanted to pay you as if she had rented a car. Now, you weren't out that money.
No, but I was out my vehicle.
Yes, you were out your vehicle, and that, I believe, you should be compensated for those 2 days, if you want to proceed with it in a legal fashion. I mean, you're not saying to her, listen, if you don't do this, I'm going to send you to jail. In all probability, unless she's been arrested before and had prior convictions under the circumstances, she would not go to jail. She would not.
If Cammie had been pulled over, she would have been arrested.
She would have been arrested and gone to jail maybe for a day or for a day and a half until somebody came and got her out. But if the case ever went to trial, she would not be incarcerated. So I want you to get that idea. She's not doing 2 to 6 because she stole her aunt's car to go and visit somebody. It's not going to happen, Miss Shoemaker.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Linda Shoemaker says her niece, Cammie Bollinger, took her van on a road trip without her permission. Cammie says she needed to get out of town.
Go ahead, let me hear the rest, because you have a total here of
Your Honor, my mom
$1,500. $1,500. I'm not getting there yet, so forget the car rental.
I still want the rental of my car.
You're not going to get it.
Okay, but she had my vehicle for 3 days without my permission.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. It was the absolutely wrong thing to do. If it had been a stranger who came to your house,
I would have had him arrested.
You would have had him arrested, and in all listen to me.
Okay.
If they would have ordered the person to make restitution, it would not have included the rental for a car.
I only said rental because, you know, if she had went and got a car the same miles or same year, the kind of vehicle it was, it would have costed her $50 a day.
I want you to forget it. If you had rented a car to go to work, I would have said that's absolutely
Ma'am,
legitimate.
according to that letter, I didn't know but what Cammie was going to drive that car off a cliff. I
and
know
then you
she
would have
was
felt
under
very
a lot of-
badly.
I know,
assume
but I
you
would have
felt
been
very
out of
badly. What else do you think you're entitled to, Miss Shoemaker?
Okay, the mileage.
Forget it. What's next?
All right. When I went to, after I picked Cammie or Destiny up, I went and filled my tank up. I always write my mileage down.
You told me.
I
don't want to hear the
miles here.
I don't want to hear the mileage anymore.
Okay, but she put 741 miles on my car.
Is your car a lease car, or did you buy it?
I was buying it.
Fine. What's next to bring this total up to $1,500?
Okay, I told Cammie she had 1 year to pay. And originally, it was the $600. When she didn't pay that, all she paid was $20. I had 10% per month for every month she did not pay me. Because all she had to do was make restitution. Cammie got away with stealing my car. I was out. I was scared to death. I didn't know where she was.
That should have
where
been your
my
primary.
vehicle.
That should have been your primary concern.
It
After
was my
after you
primary.
read this note for somebody who was clearly stressed, and it's a young person whose judgment is impaired anyway, because it has to be with her history so far. She's got impaired judgment. Then I would have been more concerned over my niece than I was over my van.
I was.
Good.
But I was
and that's what you should be concerned about, not your van. Your van you can replace. She should pay you what it actually cost you.
Your Honor.
What?
The 2 days that she was off work, my mother and I believe her son Robert as well offered to take her to work those days. Also, about 6 months ago, there was an argument. And at this time, I was put on bed rest during my pregnancy for 5.5 months. We had a lot of problems with the weight of the baby, and it was just really difficult.
Did you have this baby?
Yes, I did. He was born at 4 pounds and 12 ounces on June 1st. Every time I went to my grandma's house or I went to someone else's house, it was very hard to see my Aunt Linda because there was always real bad communication problems between the two of us.
Because she took her car, she was annoyed.
Right. And then there was a thing, I believe it was in June, at my Aunt Ginger's house. An argument broke out between my aunt and I where it was, you owe me some money, when are you going to pay me? And we both got a little upset. I had to leave because I was unable to be stressed. Well, my mother overheard a conversation between my Aunt Ginger.
Don't tell me what your mother overheard. If she wants to tell me what she overheard, she can tell me. Step up. You want to tell me about this conversation?
Okay. Apparently, Linda owed Ginger a bunch of money from some time back. And Ginger was annoyed with the fact that this had carried on and carried on and carried on. And she was concerned about Cammie's house and the baby. She went in and got some receipts of what she owed, what Linda owed Ginger. And she said, consider the debt that you owe me paid and leave Cammie alone. I mean, it was like...
Did that happen, Ms. Shoemaker?
No, it did not.
Okay.
My aunt
No, it
has
did
still
not.
agreed to it. She said that she would release her debt to my aunt.
Well, I don't know if she agreed to it. In any event, you owe your aunt $275, and that's what she lost from 2 days' pay. Period. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
My aunt has always been my favorite aunt, and I've always loved her. But for the last 15 months, we haven't even been able to cross paths.
Cammie needed to be taught a lesson because she stole somebody's vehicle.
It causes a lot of problems when you just react and then deal with the consequences later.
I don't think she learned a lesson at all.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Beltran versus Beltran. Step forward, please.
45-year-old telemarketer Christy Beltran is suing her ex-husband, 44-year-old electrician Edwin Beltran, for the return of her son's belongings. Edwin says he doesn't have them.
Mrs. Beltran, the defendant is your former husband.
Yes.
And you have a child.
Yes.
Boy. And you and your son and the defendant and your son
Yes, ma'am.
lived together while you were married.
Correct.
It is your complaint that after the divorce, the defendant refused to return some property that belonged to your son.
Yes, ma'am.
He says you took everything that we're entitled to in the judgment of divorce.
I don't agree, Your Honor. I thought I'd given her, she'd gotten everything from the divorce.
I just said that.
No, I'm sorry.
Got to pay attention. Can I see the divorce judgment, please? Okay. So now tell me what you think he has that belongs to you.
When Mr. Beltran and I first got together, we were only married 3 years, but we were together 8 years. Over the 8 years that we were together, we had purchased together many different things for his child as well as my own child. At the time that I moved out of Mr. Beltran's home, all my son's things were still there. His toys, he collects Beanie Babies. He takes very good care of all of his things. He has had toys there from the time that he was 5 years old in the boxes that he was saving. He was looking at the collector value, the money value of these things. Mr. Beltran had been telling me and my son up to this day that he would bring my son's things to my son's father's home.
Things like what?
Okay, I have a list right here, Your Honor, of all the things that he has kept of my son's clothing, bedroom set, toys, everything that my son owned at our home.
Okay. So I'll hear from you now, sir.
Ma'am, that's not true. Last year, during the summer, her son had come over and, with my son. We had boxed up a bunch of stuff in a big garbage bag. The Beanie Babies I don't have. They sat in my house for a year after the divorce, and When I was cleaning house, I ended up giving them away. But I'd given her son the rest of the things that she says that he never got.
Your Honor, excuse me, but in December 27th, Mr. Beltran and I were in court on another matter. After we left the courtroom, out in the hallway, in front of my parents, who I've brought as my witnesses, Mr. Beltran told me that he would pack up my son's things and take them to my son's father's home. My parents...
What date was this?
December 27th of 2001.
Did you ever have that conversation with her?
I did to the Power Rangers, yes, ma'am. And, Your Honor, I was working a lot of overtime. I had never followed through on that.
The Power Rangers.
Some 3 boxes of some toys that she mentioned that were still in the original boxes.
So you have them?
I do have those, yes.
All right, well, then you should have said to me that you do have those and that you agreed to give them back to her.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you still have those?
I believe they're still in the closet upstairs. Yes, they are there.
Okay. Well, why don't you take a look at some of these other things and see if we can work this out.
Because I did not receive, Your Honor, none of my son's clothing, his CDs, his fishing pole, his tools that I had just purchased him the Christmas before we broke up. None of those items has Mr. Beltran returned to me or my son.
When did you break up?
We broke up in April of 2000.
What is an issue is that you have a judgment of divorce that you agreed to, signed off on a stipulation that clearly laid out all of the property that each of you was entitled to. Nowhere in this does it say bedroom set, Beanie Babies, Power Rangers, anything else.
Right.
So you don't have a legal leg to stand on. I want you to understand that.
I understand that, Your Honor.
Fine. So that what I'm trying to do here is to see if I can equitably come to resolve the issue between you. Since you did live together for a while, you do have a child. I'm certain that Mr. Beltran, while he probably doesn't see your son now, would not like it to end any worse than it already has. So if he has anything on that list, I'm sure that he'd be more than happy to pack it up and give it to your son. Other than the Power Rangers, sir, what else do you have?
His BB gun is still at the house somewhere. And as
Well,
far
as I'm concerned, the BB gun you could leave.
Okay.
The BB gun, I think you not only should leave, I think you should take it and break it and throw it away. Because I do a lot of cases with BB guns. Take it and destroy it. What else?
That and a couple of the Power Rangers, and I don't know which ones I have that are in the closet.
Okay, but you do have some.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
All
Your
right.
Honor.
Within 5 days, I want you to box them up. And where are you going to bring them? Because you don't want to see each other.
Take me to her brother's house.
Fine, let's do that within 5 days, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. Thank you very much. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I shouldn't have neglected getting these items back.
I'm still not going to get all my son's items back, but that's okay.
Try to settle things before you have to go to court.
Judge Judy's great.
You reached into the car and slapped a passenger.
I slapped him across the face. It was a case of road rage
You drop-kicked him to the ground.
that raged off the road
I grabbed a socket wrench and hit him.
I've got a permanent scar and followed them home.
She and her family and her son were put through well over a year of torture.
But something could put this case in reverse.
Had you ever been arrested for a crime before?
Yes, ma'am.
Try to fool me is really an act of stupidity. Fritz, you are really here as what I call a nominal defendant. You are suing on behalf of your son over repercussions of this incident. Is that right?
That's correct.
Kevin, step up here, please. Mrs. Fritz, I'd like you to have a seat.
Thank you.
Mr. Griffiths, back in February of 2000, there was an incident that started at a gas station. As a result of that incident, it was your claim that the defendant severely assaulted you. He was arrested. That case went to trial. He was convicted. That case was appealed once. Your appeal was denied. It was appealed again. And just recently, the conviction was overturned, and you were acquitted of the charges. You are now suing the defendant civilly for the injuries that you sustained as a result of this altercation. And there is a cross-claim by Mrs. Fritz, because it is their claim that your actions instigated this incident, and she and her family and her son were put through well over a year of torture. So, Mr. Griffin, I'd like you to tell me your version of the events of the 7th of February, 2000.
Okay, I was filling up my truck. I had a truck and trailer.
At a gas station?
At a gas station. I started to walk around my trailer on the driver's side, and Kevin Fritz was driving a vehicle that spun out real recklessly. He almost hit me.
Okay, he didn't hit you.
No, it was so close, I was scared. I was scared to death. I yelled. Jesse Letterman.
Someone in the passenger seat?
In the passenger seat. Started yelling obscenities. I got upset. I was scared. I thought he was going to pull a weapon. I used necessary force.
No. Don't tell me you used necessary force. What did you do?
I slapped him across the face.
So you walked up to the car?
It was real close.
You had to have walked
I made a step, ma'am.
Towards the car?
Yes, ma'am.
You reached into the car and slapped the passenger?
After I heard him reaching for something.
Don't make things up, Mr. Griffin.
I'm not,
Listen to
ma'am.
me. You didn't hear him reach for anything. I've been in this business a long time. You slapped him. You didn't hurt him, I assume, but you slapped him with an open hand?
Yes, ma'am.
What happened next?
He exited the vehicle, went into the store, and called the police, from what I know.
So he got out of the car. He didn't confront you.
Oh, he confronted me, man. He was yelling.
How did he confront you?
He was cussing. He was yelling, saying he's going to go call the police.
And that's what he did?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What happened next?
He came out of the store. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw him making a fist up like he was going to hit me, and I dropped him on his butt. I did a slide kick and dropped him on his butt.
Okay, let's do this slowly. Had you finished with your car, filling up your car?
Yes, ma'am.
Did he say anything to you?
Oh, yeah, he was cussing.
And the next physical thing that happened was what?
Out of the corner of my eye, I saw him reaching up to hit me, and I drop slide kicked him, put him on the ground.
What happened next?
Kevin Fritz ran up from behind, from what witnesses say. But
You didn't see anything else?
I didn't see anything till after.
That's the last thing you remember, drop kicking his friend to the ground.
Yes, ma'am.
And then you woke up?
No, ma'am, no. I'd never lost consciousness. What happened was Kevin Fritz came from behind, from what witnesses say.
You can't tell me what witnesses say, sir.
But this is the key fact. I remember him hitting me in the forehead where I've got a permanent scar, and I remember seeing him.
Okay.
Okay?
I don't think that he denies that. Is that right?
That's right.
Did the police arrive subsequently?
Shortly after.
You have the police reports?
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to see them.
There's some medical records in here, ma'am.
I'd like to see those.
I want to keep them confidential.
Okay. Were you with anyone else, sir?
Yes, I was.
What's the name of the person you were with?
Daniel.
All right, Mr. Fritz, I'd like to hear your version of these events. You and your friends are driving in a car, perhaps a little too quickly. What happened next?
I was the one driving. Jesse was a passenger, obviously. We had Amber, a friend of ours, in the back. We heard just screaming. It was cussing and vulgarities. And we looked outside, and there he was, like 20 feet away, screaming at us, and we didn't know what for, so we, obviously started screaming back. And as he went up to the car, Jesse reaches to roll up the window, shut him out.
What'd you go into the gas station for in the first place?
We were using the phone. And as we pull off, we hear him screaming and cussing, and Jesse reaches to roll up the window because, you're thinking, what is he doing, blah, blah, blah. And he slaps him. So I put the car in reverse. We pull back up to the phone that we were just at, and we're like, all right, that's assault, Jesse, go call the police. He walks into the Dodger store to use the telephone, and as he walks out...
And you're sitting in the car?
Yes, me and Amber.
While you were sitting in the car, did you notice where Mr. Griffiths was?
Yes, he walked back to his truck as Jesse went into the store.
Where did he go when he came out?
He got about 10 feet away before they started arguing. Jesse told him he just called the police. Don't take off, the police are coming. I'm gonna file a charge on you, assault. Me and Amber were talking, and second I looked up, all I knew is Mr. Griffith and his buddy were hovering over Jesse, and he was on the ground.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Hondo Griffiths claims 19-year-old Kevin Fritz attacked him with a socket wrench. Kevin says he was defending his friend.
What did you do?
Whenever I looked up, I just saw him on the ground, and I knew I had no idea what they had done to him. I just knew he was on the ground or whatever else. I grabbed a soccer wrench that was under the front seat and ran over there screaming at him and got no response, to where I hit him and his buddy came around, Jesse, swinging at me like, oh, crazy or whatever, hit me one time, and so I retaliated and hit him. And I got Jesse, and I was like, all right, let's go to the car. The cops are coming anyway, because I didn't know if they had a gun in the car or knife, or if they're going to retaliate back on what I just had done. Anything's possible after that point. So we take off, get less than a block away, and they tell us to come back to the store. We did.
But Jesse.
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to hear you. The first thing that happened that you remember, first physical contact, was being slapped by Mr. Griffin. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Tell me how that happened.
Like Kevin said, I was in the car, and we were driving off, and we heard somebody yelling at us, and we didn't know what it was for. Realized he was shouting about the way we were driving, because I listened to part of what he said, and I shouted back at him, and he comes up to the window. He's shouting right by the window, I guess, for like 10 seconds or so, and I don't want him in my face anymore, so I reach to roll up the window, and he slaps me at that point, and so I get out of the car.
You got angry, as you rightfully should have. Got out and made a phone call and called the police. Now, I want you to tell me what happened when you came out.
Well, I came out of the building, and I notified them that I had called the police.
What did you say to him?
I said, well, before I went in the building, I told him I was going to call the cops. And I told them that they were on their way to stay here. And we started yelling. I can't remember exactly what we were saying. We were still really, adrenaline was pumping. We were still really just going at it. And then he came up to me and like punched me like this, you know, on my chest, and then swept kicked me on my feet and got me on the ground.
What happened when you fell to the ground?
He got even closer and just stood over me like this and looking down at me. And
Did you see a second person?
Yes, ma'am. He basically followed what Honda was doing and stood over me.
Just stood over you?
Stood over me.
Are you in possession of any other police reports?
I think we have some, yeah.
Ask your mom if she can help you. I want to make sure I have them all.
It's all spread out.
This is it right here. That's a police report.
Do you want me to bring it up?
What are you doing with a wrench in the car?
It was actually supposed to be in the trunk at the time, and we had used it before to help somebody with changing out a tire or something, and we just kept it in the front.
Did you keep it in the front for protection, Mr. Fritz?
It wasn't my car.
Whose car was it?
Jesse's.
So it was your car? You
Yes,
keep that wrench in front there for protection?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
All right. Don't bull me, please, because that's not a smart thing to do.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? If you were older, it wouldn't be smarter. At your age, to try to fool me is really an act of stupidity. You have the appellate decision?
Yes.
This isn't the appellate decision.
That is what they gave us. In January 31st, we went back to court, and it was dismissed. I do have, though, from the Tennessee Claims Commission, Hondo evidently tried to get victims' compensation, and he was denied that because it was obvious that it was his fault.
Mr. Fritz, how many days did you spend in juvenile detention?
32 days.
Was that your first time in juvenile detention?
No, it wasn't.
When was the time immediately preceding that?
When I was 16.
For what?
Unruly. It was actually a runaway charge.
Other than the, what we call a person in need of supervision, unruly, had you ever been arrested for a crime before?
Yes, ma'am.
When?
Again, when I was 16.
For what?
It was a DUI.
So one DUI, one incorrigible, and one assault.
Yes, ma'am.
All by the time you're 16. And what about you, Mr. Letterman?
Yes, ma'am. I had been arrested for petty theft at a gas station.
Is that your only arrest, Mr. Letterman?
Yes, ma'am, at that time it was.
And now?
No.
What do you mean at that time?
Well, at that time it was, I had a little bout with a credit card that they gave me checks for, and I wrote them for over the amount, so they got treated as personal checks. And I got 2 arrests for those.
Bad checks?
Yes, ma'am.
And how old were you when you had these bad checks?
I wrote them when I was like 18, I guess, and they just came through and served a warrant on them.
Should never give kids who are 18 years old a credit card and those blank checks. You had a bench trial with regard to this case?
Yes, ma'am.
And the judge found you guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did your family hire a lawyer or did you use a state lawyer?
We had an attorney.
Did you pay the attorney?
Yes, we did.
How much?
I'm not sure.
We had a public defender at that time.
You had a public defender.
Oh, all right. Well, I was a juvenile, yeah. Public defender.
Mr. Fritz, I'm going to give you some very good advice that's going to last you for a long time. Sometimes people have problems saying these words, but I want you to listen to them very carefully. I don't know. When somebody asks you a question and you really don't have the information, you don't make something up. You say, I don't know.
Okay.
Guys sometimes have a problem saying that. So they make up things.
All right.
And we call them a Fritz fact, you know.
Say that again?
We'd call that a Fritz fact rather than the truth.
A Fritz fact?
A Fritz fact. That's your last
my
name.
last name.
It's a Fritz fact.
Right.
Not necessarily true, but something
Wow.
that you made up. So when I ask you a question, I expect an answer.
I was pretty sure that we had hired an admin, so I didn't know.
Well, I guarantee you that if your family had spent $15,000 or $20,000 on a lawyer, you would have known.
Yeah, I'd probably hear about it.
All right, Mr. Griffin. All boils down to this. Did your actions precipitate what happened that day? And if they did they precipitate them to the extent that the defendant was justified in taking the action he did?
No, ma'am.
Oh, I think that they did. You did not go up to this car and slap this young man for the purposes of defending yourself. If you did, given what little we know about you, you were in the Marine Corps?
No, ma'am.
Military?
Yes, ma'am.
You would have grabbed him by the collar, pulled him out of the car if you felt as if you were in danger.
Not necessarily so, ma'am.
Oh, well, that's what I think. And what I think is the only thing that's important. What you did was you humiliated him. You were shouting obscenities at each other. You approached the passenger side of the car, and you slapped him. You can't do that.
May I say something, please?
No, you told me your story. You have absolutely no right, because you could have extricated yourself very easily from the situation by getting in your truck, which was already filled up with gas, and leaving. Chose not to do that. You chose to continue to engage in a confrontation, and you went up there, and the first physical movement was you touching him. Now, you didn't hurt him. You slapped him. You humiliated him. And what did he do? He did not get out of the car to punch you. He said, I'm going in to call the police. Did what he was supposed to do. Now, you would have me believe, Mr. Griffith, that after he went inside and called the police to come and respond because he had been assaulted, his intention was to come outside and assault you while he was waiting for the police to come. Because that's what you said to me. You said he came out and he had a fist up as if he was going to hit me. Doesn't make sense. I mean, he may be a stupid kid, but he's not crazy. You don't call the police and then
I'm sorry.
We'll get to your case in a minute. You don't do that. No normal person does that. Calls the police and said, well, now I'm going to assault him and really give it to him. You were still angry, and you kicked him. That was the second physical contact initiated by you, Mr. Griffin. And then your friend came over, and now there are 2 people over him. All he sees is his friend down, being hit for the second time.
It's not true, ma'am.
That's what you told me.
I didn't say anything about afterwards. My friend ran up to protect me and tackled him.
No. Sir, you just testified, Mr. Griffin, that he came out of the store, you were yelling and screaming back at one another, he balled up a fist as if he was going to hit you, and you drop-kicked him to the ground. When Mr. Fritz turned around and saw you and around him, knowing you had slapped him before, and for one reason or another, he's down on the ground now, he took action to protect his friend. And that's what the appellate court, in all probability, said, that this was an unfortunate incident, but certainly not one for which he should be held criminally responsible, because the physical part of this altercation was initiated by you. So, sir, your complaint is dismissed. Now, let us get to your counterclaim, which is also dismissed, because as cute as you are here today, I have a feeling you're a wise guy. Now, was there another way that you could have dealt with this other than hitting him over the head with a socket wrench? Perhaps. Perhaps. Do I think that you were maybe a little bit out of control that day, driving your car in a fashion that almost hurt Mr. Griffith? Perhaps. The justice system worked because you were found guilty by one judge beyond a reasonable doubt. The second appeal, which they went over all of the records, which they clearly found that there was substantial evidence, not evidence beyond a reasonable doubt, substantial evidence, far more evidence than I need at this trial, found that you were guilty. I certainly hope that the next 30 or 40 years of your life is spent outside the court system. Are you living at home now?
No, ma'am.
Where are you living?
In an apartment.
How old are you?
19.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a cook at Hooters.
See what I mean? Your case is dismissed. Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
My best friend for 6 years and roommate at the time on the ground. I wasn't thinking clearly.
He missed the back of my head, and when I spun around, because I felt the wind, upswing, he hit between my eyes.
All I can think of is just, hey, get these people to stop.
He left the scene. Both of them did.
If they go back to the car, they have a gun or a knife or anything else. So we just like, all right, let's get away. We're the ones that called the police. You know, we're in the right.
He fled. He tried to get away from the police.
He turned his sister in for abuse.
She was abusive to her children.
Police were called?
Yes, ma'am.
But was he just looking for revenge?
The reason I did call is because someone called on me and said I was abusing my kids.
And I told him that I didn't call on him.
I told her I would be returning the favor.
Did her brother betray her?
Sounds to me like this was a vindictive call. Is that right?
Well,
Well is not an answer, sir.
Judge Judy.
I'm going to get to the bottom of this.
Right.
According to your complaint, which has two parts, you borrowed some money from your sister Tracy.
Yes, I did.
$440. You gave the money to your brother to give back to your sister.
Yes, ma'am.
Your brother did not give the money back to your sister because he says your sister owed him some money for something else, so he kept the money.
Exactly.
The second part of your complaint is, after this happened, he called Child Protective Services and he told them that you were neglecting your children.
Yes, ma'am.
And you were investigated, and now you have a record with Child Protective Services. With regard to that part of the complaint, your brother says he got tired of listening to you verbally abusing your children, and everything that he reported to Child Protective Services was true.
Yes, ma'am.
So far, that's the case.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Where is Tracy?
She's in the courtroom somewhere.
Tracy?
Yes, ma'am.
Could you step up here, please, and have a seat over here? Because I'll be asking you a couple of questions. On what date did you borrow this money from your sister?
My sister did a Western Union quick collect for me on October 16th of 2001.
What did you need the money for?
I had gotten behind on my mortgage payments because I'd had surgery on my arm, and she agreed to let me have the money as long as I paid her back by the weekend.
Now, how did it come about that you gave your brother the money?
I had surgery on the 18th of October. I ended up having to spend the night in the hospital, and my brother showed up at my house Monday morning and told me that my sister had sent him to get the money.
Tracy, you want to step up here, please? Would you swear her, please? Thank you.
Ma'am, raise your right hand. You swear or affirm to tell the truth in these matters?
Yes.
Thank you.
Is your last name Shupik?
Rogers.
Miss Rogers, did you ask your brother to get the money from your sister?
Yes, ma'am.
When did you have that conversation with him?
I believe it was that Friday. I'd talked to her like a Wednesday, and I was scared that I was going to have some checks to bounce. So I asked him to go by there and pick up the check and put the money in my account.
So, Miss Rogers, it would be a fair statement that your brother was acting as your agent in getting this money from your sister.
Yes, ma'am.
Your sister doesn't owe you the money anymore. When you asked your brother to go and pick up that money, he became your agent, which means that if he did something wrong with that money, if he appropriated the money for his own use, if he used it to set off a debt, if he lost it, he was acting on your behalf. Your sister fulfilled her obligation to you when she gave that money to your agent, who was your brother. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Consider the debt to your sister paid. If she wants to sue him for the money, she can. If he didn't follow her directions, then she has a suit against him, but you do not. You have paid your sister. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. You want your money? Get it from your brother. You got it?
Yes,
Perfect.
ma'am.
Now you are excused. Now let's get to the Child Protective Services point. When did you call Child Protective Services, sir?
They came to my house on December the 12th, so I would say it's approximately 7 to 10 days after that date.
Was this the first time you would call Child Protective Services?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Why did you call Child Protective Services?
Well, I just felt in my heart that she was verbally abusive to her children.
When did you see the instance of verbal abuse?
Well, she lived with me at one time, and after about a 4 or 5 day period, I had...
When did she live with you?
I would say approximately a year prior to this date, but I'd witnessed this on through the years until that time.
When was the last time you had seen her, according to you, verbally abusing her children?
Well, sometimes I heard it on the telephone, but I didn't always witness it myself. But
when was the last time you witnessed it, sir?
I would say the Sunday before.
Sunday before what?
The 12th. I would say that Sunday before the 12th.
Tell me where you were and what you heard.
I was at my sister's house.
Which sister?
Holly's. Fulfilling a visitation order that I was awarded to see my daughter.
Your sister has custody of your daughter?
No, she's just real good friends with the person that...
I'm a mediator.
She's a mediator, so you are allowed to see your child at your sister's house?
Yeah, it was a supervised visitation for 4 visits.
I got it. You were allowed to see your child at your sister's house?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me what you saw or heard.
She was telling Autumn, her daughter, to shut up and to go on and keep her mouth shut in a very...
I want to hear it. Go ahead.
In a very aggressive tone of voice and manner that I felt was, you know, subjective to a child, that she shouldn't be hearing that type of voice spoke to her. I just felt it was my duty to call.
So you heard her tell her daughter to shut up?
Yes, ma'am.
In an aggressive tone. How old is her daughter?
16, 15.
14.
What else did you hear, sir?
Well, basically, it's gone on for a while. I mean, but it just, it got to a point.
Tell me what else that you heard, sir. So that's what you heard a week before. You told her to tell her 14-year-old daughter to shut up in an aggressive voice.
Uh-huh.
Tell me immediately prior to that what you heard.
Well, I can't remember prior to that. All I know
well,
is
it's
that
December
she was,
12th, sir.
You know, very moving her hands like this and telling her daughter to shut up, to get in the house, and I just felt that, you know, that tone of voice or just the hand gestures itself, you know, wasn't tolerated. She shouldn't talk to her children.
Now, you have supervised visitation.
Mm-hmm.
How old is the child that you have supervised visitation with?
3 years old.
Is there any reason why the court ordered supervised visitation?
It was a mutual agreement between me and the mother of the child.
You mean you agreed to supervised visitation?
Well, they felt it was in the child's best interest.
Yeah, people usually don't agree to supervised visitation. Are you friendly with your former sister-in-law?
Yeah, and his daughter.
Just a minute.
Okay.
I'm going to get to the bottom of this.
Okay.
Trust me, Miss Shuping. I've been around, you know, around the yard on this kind of case before.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Holly Shuping says her brother, David Shuping, stole money from their sister. Holly also claims David filed false charges with Child Protective Services.
You are friendly with his former wife?
Girlfriend.
Or former girlfriend?
Mm-hmm.
They were looking for someone to act as supervisor for the visitation.
Exactly.
Was your brother happy with that?
In the beginning, yeah, but in the end, no.
What happened towards the end, Miss Shuping?
There was an incident where he came to one of the visits and the new girlfriend was asked to leave.
Who asked the new girlfriend to leave?
I did, because of...
Is this the new girlfriend?
Yes, ma'am.
Was he supposed to come alone to the supervised visitation?
Exactly.
And what happened when you asked her to leave?
The law ended up having to be called, and there was a big argument, busting and fighting, carrying on.
Well, tell me exactly what happened. You asked the girlfriend to leave.
And she said, I'm making a stand, I'm not leaving. He's here to see his daughter, which was the first visit that he'd ever seen her in 3 years.
So this was at the first visit?
Yes, ma'am.
What date was that?
It was, wait a minute, I'll tell you exactly.
November the 9th.
Yeah.
11th. And the police were called?
Yes, ma'am.
And when the police were called, was the visit terminated?
Yes, ma'am. He stayed long enough for her to open her birthday presents, and then he left.
And what about the girlfriend? Did she leave or
She
stay?
stood in the middle of the road in front of my house.
Sat in my truck.
And took pictures.
Be quiet.
Was sitting
I'm not talking
inside of
to
a
you.
truck and taking pictures of everybody standing in my yard.
Did your brother come again for visits?
Yes, ma'am. He comes regular now, still.
To your house?
No, he has it at his ex-girlfriend.
His ex-girlfriend's house?
Mhm.
Was the November 9th visit the last visit that was conducted at your house?
Yes, ma'am.
So it was the first and the last visit that was
Mhm.
conducted at your house?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, about a week prior to this December 12th, when your brother made the call,
He made the call on November 16th. I've got my paper here.
may I see it, please?
Yes, ma'am. He called 3 days after he called and cussed me out and told me he was going to call. And what he told him was...
Just one second.
Okay.
So, Mr. Shuping, you were mistaken about the date, sir. Clearly from this letter from Social Services. You did not call about a week before the December 12th call, because you said it was December 12th. You called on November the 16th.
Well, I got the dates written right here. I did tell you the wrong date.
Well, you did tell me the wrong
Yeah,
date,
it was
sir, because this was approximately 7 days after the altercation at your sister's house, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Shuping, it sounds to me like this was a vindictive call to Social Services, sir.
Well, I told her I was going to call. And the reason I did call is because someone... My first visit, by the way, was on November the 11th, and someone called on me the November the 13th and said I was abusing my kids, too.
I didn't call on him, though, and I told him that I didn't call on him.
And that's the reason I called her and told her I didn't appreciate that phone call to Catawba County, and I would be returning the favor.
Then I am correct. You did it not because you feared for your 14-year-old niece's welfare because her mother was yelling at her, but because you were angry because someone had called Social Services because of your alleged actions. That's what you just said to me. Is that right?
Well, it wasn't in
Well
that
is not
sense.
an answer, sir.
It's not in that stance.
It's exactly that way. You acted like an idiot by bringing your girlfriend to your first visit with your 3-year-old in a very long time. Not her visit, it's your visit. It's your visit. And before you introduce another person into your child's life, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to get to know your child yourself. How long had it been since you saw your daughter?
Well, it's been...
Not well. Give me an answer.
I seen her the first day when she came home from the hospital.
And then you didn't see her for how long?
I paid child support for 2 years.
I don't care about your child support.
And I
I'm
haven't-
asking you, when was the last time you saw your child prior to November 9th?
I haven't.
Well, if you haven't, then you're an idiot for bringing your girlfriend along. And she's an idiot for coming. Because what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to have a single-minded purpose, which is to let your daughter get to know you. And if your sister said, let her leave because I don't want to get into hot water with the mother of my niece, who I'm doing this for, then what you do is you don't make a scene. And she doesn't either. And you acted in a retaliatory fashion by picking up the phone and calling Social Services on your sister. It was nothing more than vindictive. It had nothing to do with child welfare. And, sir, you are going to pay for that. Because while you don't owe this lady any money for the $440 that she gave you to pay back this sister, she's suing you for $4,000, most of which is the aggravation that was caused because her name will remain in the state central registry for child abuse and neglect for a very long time, without any cause whatsoever, because you used this to get even. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $4,000, that's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I don't think it could have been handled outside the courtrooms.
My 14-year-old daughter had to go through a lot of unnecessary trauma, and she didn't need that in her life.
She seen dollar signs, that was it.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Cushel versus Rice, step forward, please.
32-year-old nurse David Cushel is suing his former friend, 18-year-old gas station attendant Mike Rice, for damage to his home. David says he allowed Mike to throw a New Year's party and his friends trashed the house.
Mr. Cushel, Do you live in a house or an apartment?
In a house, Your Honor.
Is it a house that you own or rent?
I own it, Your Honor.
Defendant was a friend of yours?
Correct.
According to your complaint, the defendant invited you to a New Year's Eve party that he was going to have at a hotel. You volunteered to let him have the party at your home. You were not going to be home New Year's Eve. Is that right?
He indicated he was going to have a get-together with a few friends, maybe up to a dozen friends at a hotel party.
Just listen to me. You volunteered to let him use your home. You weren't going to be home New Year's Eve. Is that correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
I'll get to some specifics in a minute. Let me just lay out the case. He had the party. Your house was trashed. You want him to pay for all of the damage that was done to your house.
Correct, Your Honor.
That's the case. And Mr. Rice says, what?
I was there.
Is not an answer.
Okay, sorry about that. I was there, and I had a few friends over, and some more showed up than I invited. And at midnight, some friends got in some fights, and they broke some of his stuff.
So?
So I don't think I should be held responsible because it was my friends and not me.
You were there?
Yes, I was.
You know which friends damaged the property?
Yes, I do.
Sue them. After he sues you, gave you permission to use his home for the purpose of a party. If more people show up than you had invited, you have a responsibility to eject them. If things get out of hand, you have the responsibility of calling the police. If either they refuse to leave or start to get into any altercations at the house. But you are responsible. He's not responsible. Why is he responsible?
It's his house, and he never delegated any responsibility.
Of course he did. Let me see pictures of the damage to the house. I'm inordinately calm because this is an inordinately...
I can go through the pictures if you'd like, Your Honor, explaining. Some are kind of hard to see.
What happened to the trees?
There was a lot of tracks through the yards. Cars had driven from the street through the yard and missed the driveway by a few hundred feet, apparently, and the trees must have been in the way. The dogs didn't know what to do that next morning. No post-traumatic stress disorder, but I think they're okay.
That's not on here, is it?
No, ma'am.
When did you buy this house, sir?
We finished construction about a year and a half ago, Your Honor. The estimates are just for materials. They don't include labor with the exception of the flooring.
Would you tell me why you let him use your house for this party?
Unfortunately, a few months before New Year's Eve, we'd lost a mutual friend to a motor vehicle accident. Mike indicated he's having a get-together with his friends at a hotel that was over half an hour from town. My house is in town. My roommate was going to be there. He was having a few friends over, and I felt that everything would be all right, and I didn't want to have that same experience with anyone else. You know, sometimes people have to drive after they've been, you know, getting together, and I know they could crash in my house and be no problem.
Well, they put cigarettes out on your floor, on your carpet. They put holes in your walls. How long had you been living there?
About a year and a half, Your Honor.
Looks like you did a nice job before the place got trashed. Anything else you want to tell me, Mr. Rice?
Yes, I believe that his roommate Chuck is also partially responsible. He had friends over with us. He was there the whole time. I believe that if he thought something was going on wrong, I mean, he lived there, he could have said something, told him to leave.
Why, were his friends involved in vandalizing the property?
No, they were not.
Yours were involved in vandalizing the property?
Yes, they were.
Then you're responsible, sir. You're responsible for their actions. Now, you can sue them and say, listen, I was forced to pay for the damage you did, but how do I know that you weren't partially responsible for the damage? How do I know that?
You don't.
I don't. If you know the names of the people who did, it's not up to him to go out and search for them. He was doing a good deed. What?
Your Honor, Chuck can explain what happened that evening to make it more clear in regards to what happened during the party. He was there the entire time and attempted to actually get it to slow down without success.
Chuck, you were unsuccessful. Don't get up. Mr. Kushel.
Yes, Your Honor.
You don't need any water. It's not going to take that long. You're suing the defendant for $3,000. Your costs are in excess of that, but that's your lawsuit, $3,000. And I assume, sir, your next stop is going to be small claims court, where you file a claim against all of these people to reimburse you for this $3,000, right? Judgment for the plaintiff for the amount of $3,000. Have a good day.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I think it's great. Judge Judy, she had a good verdict, and you know, we're gonna get paid finally and get this house cleaned up.
She totally put everything on me, and I don't believe it was all my fault.
It was trash. I mean, unbelievable. It was like a tornado came through.
Some people got in some fights. There was little disruptions. People got thrown through some doors, stuff like that.
Do not loan your house out to other people when you're not home. It's not worth it.